Good morning, everyone. We've got a ton to talk about today. Wizards decided that they wanted to release just a ton of Marvel spoilers at New York Comic-Con Friday afternoon. So that's what we're doing today. We're talking about all the Marvel Secret Lairs that are going to be coming out November 4th. Let's get into it. All right, we've got no time to waste. We have 5 Secret Lairs coming at you today. 3 Avengers. We've got Black Panther, Captain America, and Iron Man. And then we've got 2 X-Men, Storm and Wolverine. Each one of these lairs comes with a mechanically unique card, namely the Avenger or the Marvel character. Each one of these lairs is going to contain one mechanically unique new card. Basically, it's going to be Iron Man, Black Panther. The name card of the lair, the character, that's going to be the mechanically unique card, and then every other card is just going to be a reprint. Some of them have in-universe names or just the regular names of the cards. Some of them have new quote-unquote names that are just, you know, something from the Avengers or the X-Men universe, and then under it it'll say, oh, but actually I'm this. You've seen that before. It's the Godzilla treatment. But kicking things off, we've got Black Panther. That's the first lair we're going to be talking about. All right, starting with Black Panther. First card is, that's right, Black Panther, Wakandan King. Because these are actually brand spanking new cards, I'm just going to read them for you because we haven't seen them before. So Black Panther costs a green and white. He is a legendary creature, a human noble hero. He's got first strike, and he has Survey the Realm. Whenever he enters the battlefield or another creature we control enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on a target land we control. And then he's got Mind Vibranium. This is 3 mana. You can move all 1/1 counters from a target land we control onto a target creature. And if we moved 1 or more counters this way, so basically if we just do this, we gain that much life and we draw a card. I do like new takes on interesting lands. Obviously, this opens up a lot of creature land synergies. You've got ways to kind of hide counters. As you'll see later on, it synergizes with parts of the other layer as well. Obviously, it's tougher to remove lands than it is creatures typically, so you can kind of just have all of your lands kind of holding counter for your creatures, which is really neat. And his move counter ability is instant speed, so you don't have to do it at once a turn or at sorcery speed. You can just kind of do it whatever. Obviously, we have no pricing for him. There's never been a reprint. We don't know his rank on EDH Rec. None of that exists. Obviously, you'll see that for all of these, but that's okay. This is a neat, new, interesting commander, and I think they've done a good job with these. I think they're all kind of very interesting, so yeah, let's see what other cards they're going to put in this layer with them. Next card up is Secure the Waste. This creates a bunch of tokens. It's $1 in the non-foil, $1.70 in the foil. Seen 5 reprints. Last saw this 8 months ago. Ranked $13.98 on EDH Rec. Card sees plenty of play. Obviously, creating tokens at instant speed is huge, as the more often than not, you see this effect at sorcery speed. So this one, and I think Call the Copper Codes, are instant speed. They're great cards. If you're going wide, this is pretty much a staple for that kind of deck. After that, we've got Primal Vigor, or Bast's Blessing. This lets you double up on tokens and double up on 1/1 counters, so you can definitely see the theme that they are pushing with this layer. You want to have a lot of creatures and you want to have a lot of counters. This is a $7 card in the non-foil and the foil. Seen 3 reprints. Last saw it a little over a year ago and ranked $11.92 on EDH Rec. After that, we've got Karn's Bastion, or Wakandan Skyscraper. I personally really like this land. You can tap it and 4 mana and proliferate, which lets you double up on counters and you know, all that kind of stuff. It's neat. It's at instant speed. Most of the time when you're proliferating, it's at sorcery speed. So this and a couple other things let you do it at instant speed. So that's why I personally am a big fan of this land, if this is what you're trying to do. And it's pretty cheap. It's only $1.70 in the non-foil, $2 in the foil. While it's great for proliferate decks, obviously, if you wanted in a Secret Lair, we wish it was a little more costly, but c'est la vie. C9 reprints. Last saw it 10 months ago, and it's ranked 194 on EDH Rec. Next up, we've got Heroic Intervention. This is a solid reprint, $10 in the foil and the non-foil. Seen a bunch of reprints, seen 18, last saw it 10 months ago, and it's ranked 36 on EDH Rec. Obviously, this card is a staple in most green decks, and yeah, loved seeing it here. And finally, rounding out the lair, we have a warrior token. This is worth nothing in the foil or the non-foil, but hey, I'm going to give you the stats anyway, because why not? I have the stats for warrior tokens. So yeah, we've seen 14 reprints. Last saw warrior token 8 months ago. Boy, I bet you definitely needed that information. Surprisingly not ranked on EDH Rec. All right, let's go to the lair stats. Notably, every single Marvel layer here is going to be $10 extra. Obviously, Disney has an exorbitant licensing fee for their IP, and Wizards is passing those savings on to you. So guess what? You get to pay an extra $10 for the non-foil and an extra $10 for the foil. Hooray. All right, so let's look at the non-foil pricing, and it's $19.79. That's not great, especially since the layer is now costing double that. And we see the same when it comes to the foil pricing. This is a $50 layer in the foil, and the singles are only worth $21.72. Moving on to the ratings, we've got a 2 for the financial value. As we talked about earlier, yeah, it's just not doing that great. We have a 5 for playability, though. All these cards see tons of play, which is really awesome to see. I do love that in a layer. Art gets a 3. I think all of these layers look great, but nothing's pushing the boundaries here for me. Nothing looks bad either. I think these all look great, and yeah, I'm just going to give a 3 across the board because nothing here is standing out as like, oh my god, I love everything going on here. I think they did a good job kind of blending the Marvel and Magic the Gathering aesthetic together. Non-foil rating, nothing really changes here. All the stuff stays the same, so we're going to move right along to the totals. And total rating for this layer is a 4.8 for the foil and the non-foil. While you may think, hey, that seems really high, that's because the X factor here, we've got an outside IP, which is giving it a whole point of boost, and we also have a mechanically unique card, so that's giving it another half point of lift. So that's why this layer, and spoiler alert, most of these layers are going to get really high ratings. It's just due to the fact that I think we're going to see a lot of demand for these layers. Lots of people want these to be their commanders. They've been clamoring for them ever since we heard that we were going to be doing a Marvel collab. And because they're mechanically unique, we aren't going to see these cards for a long time whenever they do finally do an in-universe reprint of this stuff. So if you want them, they're limited stock, and yeah, if this is your favorite guy or girl or whoever, this is your favorite superhero and you want to build a deck out of it, yeah, you're going to shell out the cash. Captain America First Avenger is up second. He costs a red, a white, and a blue. How fitting. Legendary creature, human soldier, hero. He has throw, which for 3 mana, you can unattach an equipment from Captain America, and he'll deal damage equal to that equipment's mana value, divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. He also has catch, which at the beginning of combat, on your turn, you can attach any one equipment to him. No pricing, no reprints, haven't seen this ever, and there's no ranking yet. This is a really neat mechanic. Obviously, it is playing off the whole throwing his shield and it coming back to him. There's tons of equipment in Magic that you can do this with. I think the one that most people have been talking about, aside the shield that will be coming up later, is Excalibur from Assassin's Creed, as I think it's a 12 mana equipment that you can just attach for free, so you just chuck it at folks. Very fitting and should be a lot of fun to build. So the first card up in this layer is Sigarda's Aid, or Captain America's Aid. Yep, they tried really hard here, and you can see both caps here working hard for America. Card's worth $7.50 in the non-foil, $11 in the foil. Seen 4 reprints, last saw it a little over a year ago, ranked 964 in EDH Rec. Notably, you'll see the shield or the sword that they chose, the equipment that they put in this layer, notably non-bows with Sigarda's Aid if you have it equipped. So just be aware about how protection from colors work, but we'll get more into that as we get to the equipment. Solid reprint, love to see it. Obviously kind of a staple for any equipment deck, so yeah, happy to have this one. Next up, we've got Flawless Maneuver, another reprint we're seeing in that if you control your commander, you get a free spell. We just saw in the Pixel Perfect layer for Charity, we got the Fierce Guardianship, the blue one. Now we're getting the white one. Not as good, but still pretty good. This is a $9 card in the non-foil and the foil. Seen 4 reprints, last saw this a little over a year ago again, and it's ranked 243 on EDH Rec. Next, we've got In the Trenches. This is kind of a stinker of an Anthem effect, but yeah, oh well, I guess some of the cards can't be that great. 30 cents in the non-foil, 57 cents in the foil. It has 3 reprints. We last saw it 2 years ago, and it's ranked 8,006 on EDH Rec. Yeah, they're just a lot more either better Anthem effects at cheaper mana costs, or if you go up 1 more mana, you get like double strike and library. There's just a lot of other things you can do for 3 mana that this just isn't fitting the bill typically. But hey, it's got a ton of Captain America stuff on it, so if that's what you're into, this is going to be great. And finally, the sword I was alluding to, or the equipment I was alluding to, Sword of War and Peace, or Shield of War and Peace. The sword is a shield. The shield is a sword. Yeah, it's an equipment, but look at it. It's very pretty. Yeah, as I said, it's Sword of War and Peace. This card's $7 in the non-foil, almost $13 in the foil. I've seen 5 reprints. Last saw it almost 2 years ago, ranked 2830 on EDH Rec. It's not the best sword, but it is indeed a sword, and the swords usually command a fairly high reprint price, as we can see, so this is great to include. This gives equipped creature protection from red and white. Notably, Captain America is red and white in addition to blue, so that means that if you have his shield attached to him, Sigarda's Aid can't target him because it's a white permanent, so you can't get through the protection. Just understand that the sword gives you protection from 2/3 of the colors in your deck if you're building Captain America. Please be aware of that. It's just a little nombo. Obviously, when you throw the shield, he won't be equipped with it, so you've got a window of opportunity, so you can kind of reattach some other stuff to him. Just be aware, protection's weird. It's an older mechanic, and that's how it works. So even if it's your own stuff, can't target it with red or white things. It would be pretty crazy if we didn't get some sort of equipment for Captain America, and yeah, it's pretty decent. So singles prices. This one's not too bad, but obviously the $10 hike makes everything a little worse. For the non-foil, we've got $23.95, and for the foil, we've got $33.63. Again, not the worst. If we were at the older price points, this would be kind of in line with like a solid layer. With the $10 ad, yeah, it's a little rough. Unfortunate. Moving to the ratings, we've got a 3 for the financial, as we covered already. Playability, again, all of these cards are super playable, except Into the Trenches. Art, I said, is a 3. I think this maintains that. Nothing here is super crazy, but nothing here sucks either. I do actually like how all these cards look. Coming down to the non-foil, this kind of just slips to a 2. Not by much, but just a little bit. Yeah, not the best layer when it comes to financial reprint value. Not that that matters too much because of all the outside IP and demand going on for it, but hey, just so you know. So coming over to the total ratings, we've got a 4.7 in the foil and a 4.5 in the non-foil. Again, we've got that outside IP and the mechanically unique bumps that this is getting with that X factor, so that's why this layer is rated so much higher than it typically would, and I stand by that. But enough about Captain America. We spent too much time on him. We got to move on to the next layer. Too many layers today. Next up, we've got the man that kicked off the whole entire MCU franchise, Tony Stark himself, Iron Man. If you couldn't tell, this is my favorite Avenger. You can like Captain America if you want, and you can use the first Avenger argument. That's fine too. I just think you're wrong, and Iron Man is better. I'm sure that won't cause any troubles in the comments. Anyways, first card up here is Iron Man, Titan of Innovation. He costs 3, a blue and a red, and he is a legendary artifact creature. That's actually kind of neat that he's an artifact. Also a human hero. He has flying and haste, and he has the ability Genius Industrialist. Whenever he attacks, create a treasure token, and then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact with a mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value, and put it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffle. So this is kind of a birthing pod effect, but for artifacts. I'm sure tutoring artifacts isn't in any way busted, and I'm sure he'll be very, very fair and fun to play against. Again, no pricing info, no EDH rank. I think the art's sweet, and yeah, let's see what else they put in this layer. First card up is Galvanic Blast. This is a $2 card, $4 in the foil. Seen 3 reprints, last saw it a little over 4 years ago, and it's ranked 5865 on EDH Rec. Fine in artifact decks, kind of sucks otherwise, but you're more than likely playing an artifact deck if you're running Mr. Tony Stark. So yeah, it's a fine include. Not super excited to see it, but you know, it's whatever. But oh boy, do we get a solid banger of a hitter here. Commander's Plate. Haven't seen this in 9 months. I've seen 4 reprints only. $33 in non-foil, $35 in the foil. Whoo-wee. That is a lot of cash money in one card. Ranked 4 on EDH Rec. This is a good include. This is what we love seeing in Secret Lairs. I think between this and the next card, this one is probably going to be one of the most bought layers just because of, yeah, the reprint value is kind of insane. Next up, we've got Soul Ring, the card that defies physics and goes in every single commander's deck. Love that it's the arc reactor that powers the suit. Yeah, it's $1 and it's $3 in the foil, but this is the #1 card played in Commander. You can see it's EDH Rec rank 1. Seen 87 reprints. Last saw it a month ago. We're going to see it all the time. I mean, this is everyone shows off their Soul Ring. Everyone's got a cool little variant of Soul Ring, and this is a great one to have in your Iron Man deck. Next up, we've got Inventor's Fair. This is a great include for any artifact deck. It's the Tony Stark Expo here, and if you squint really hard, you can see Sam Rockwell tap dancing his way across the stage. It's a $12 card in the non-foil, $30 in the foil. Oh man, that is a scarcity foil if we ever did see one. 2 reprints only. Last saw it a little over 4 years ago. Ranked 281 on EDH Rec. Yeah, this is a great card. Obviously, put it in all your artifact decks because it lets you tutor for artifacts. It's a little bit of life gain, just as a nice little bonus. Finally, rounding out the layer, we've got a bonus card. We've got a treasure token. This is a great include since we're making treasures with the commander of this layer. So yeah. Happy to have that in there. It's seen 72 reprints, not that you care, and we last saw it a month ago, not that you care. So how's this layer stack up? Well, really good actually. Despite the extra $10, this one's coming in at $47.79 for the non-foil and $72.21 for the foil. Most of that extra money over on the foil price is due to the Inventor's Fair, so take that with a grain of salt. But honestly, this is a great offering for a Secret Lair. Love everything in it. For the foil rating, we've got a 5 for the financial, as we covered before. Playability is a 4. Everything here is solid. Sees tons of play, except for maybe Galvanic Blast. So yeah, pretty solid here. Art gets a 3 again. While I love everything in here, I don't think it's anything super crazy and not super bad. For the non-foil, nothing changes. All the ratings stay the same. So moving on to the total, we've got a 5 for the foil and a 5.5 for the non-foil. This is just due to the scarcity foil for Inventor's Fair, knocking this down a point because we don't change our metrics despite how much we may like something. That is the Iron Man Lair, and we're just moving right along. All right, that's it for Avengers. Now we're moving into X-Men, and we're starting it off with one of my favorites, Storm. Storm, Force of Nature is the new card, and she costs 1, a green, blue, and a red. She's a legendary creature mutant hero. She has flying and vigilance, and Ceaseless Tempest is her ability. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery you cast this turn has Storm. Oh man, that's a powerful ability. There are a lot of implications for that. She's in blue, there are extra turn spells, there's green, you can make oh my god. This commander is probably going to be pretty nutty when you go and build this, so do expect a lot of higher power Storm decks out there. Again, no pricing for this, no foil, no non-foil, haven't seen any reprints. This is a brand new spanking card. Let's see what else is in the lair. Lightning Bolt. Boy, oh boy, did you miss Lightning Bolt? I caught a lot of flack in my previous video for saying, why are we putting Lightning Bolt in commander decks? And I stand my ground. I don't know why y'all are doing it, but whatever. It's ranked 187 on EDH Rec. We've seen 49 reprints. There is literally another layer running when this one comes out that also has Lightning Bolt in it. So if you just need all that secret, extra, awesome, juicy Lightning Bolt goodness, boy oh boy, is Wizards going to give it to you. 50 cents in the non-foil, $1 in the foil. Art looks sweet. Yeah, it's Lightning Bolt, baby. Next card up is awesome. We've got Jessica's Will, or Storm's Will, in art that looks surprisingly like just the old art, but that's fine. That art was pretty sweet, and so is this one. This is an $18 card in the non-foil, $30 in the foil. Whew. Again, just a little scarce here. Seen 3 reprints. Last saw this 9 months ago. Ranked 88 on EDH Rec. This is an awesome include. Love seeing more reprints of Jessica's Will. Next card up is Ice Storm. This is kind of a crazy include. $55 in the non-foil, nothing in the foil. If you go to Scryfall, you may see that this card actually got reprinted, quote unquote, 2 years ago-ish, and it's only worth $8. That card got released in that super scuffed 30th anniversary proxy garbage thing that they sold for $1,000. Doesn't count, not a legal card. So we've got to crawl our way all the way back to 1993 in Unlimited, where Ice Storm was last seen. 30 years ago, ranked 23,534. This card doesn't see any play. It's basically a green Stone Rain. Stone Rain also sees literally no play. Do not look at this $55 price tag and think, oh my god, this is the best. It's not. It's whatever. Also, people kind of get upsetty spaghetti if you're running lots of land destruction in your deck, so I don't know how much you're going to play this card, but it's in here. It is a questionable include at best and pretty irrelevant when it comes to, oh man, playability. I mean, unfortunately, it's actually my favorite looking of the arts from the Storm Lair. I watched Storm growing up with the cartoon, so this outfit is what I'm used to seeing, and I do love it. After that, we've got a favorite of mine, Manamorphose, or Aurora Borealis. It's a $4, wow, it's a $4 card. It's a $4 card in foil and non-foil. Seen 3 reprints, last saw it a little over 4 years ago, ranked 281 on EDH Rec. So let's take a look at the layer stats, and we've got, surprise, surprise, way inflated pricing here. We've got $78 in the non-foil and $90 in the foil. Take these numbers with a huge amount of salt. As I said, we have a $55 card that's really only probably going to be worth like maybe $10 when it's all said and done, but even if you're just looking at reprint value, it's probably like $3. So yeah, just take 50 off both of these numbers, so you can get what this is actually closer to. Obviously, I'm just going to show you what the numbers are because that's how data works, and that's why we talk about it, because if you just looked at the data, you'd probably get kind of a skewed view, and yeah, and that's why we're chit-chatting. Moving on to the ratings, we've got that 5 with that very emphasized asterisk there, but the playability is actually really high. This is a very playable layer, except for Ice Storm. Art's at 3. Again, I really like everything's going on here, and I'm glad that the layer is pretty playable. Nothing changes for the non-foil. The ratings stay the same. So the totals for the Storm Lair is a 4.8 for the foil and the non-foil, and we can see that we just have some scarcity plays here, but we also have outside IP and mechanically unique stuff bolstering that back up. We're almost done here. We've got one final layer to wrap this bad boy up, and yeah, we're going to jump right to it. Finally rounding out the massive glut of Marvel Secret Lairs is Wolverine. The card we got is Wolverine, Best There Is. I don't know if that was possibly the best moniker for him, but so be it. Anyways, he cost 1, a red and a green, and he is a legendary creature mutant berserker hero. He has unrivaled lethality, double all damage Wolverine would deal. Notably, that doesn't say combat damage, anything like fight spells or bite spells, flinging him. If this fling says creature's power, if he deals the damage, not the spell itself, which is pretty neat. I really like that. Anyways, at the beginning of each end step, if Wolverine dealt combat damage to another creature this turn, put a 1/1 counter on him. And you can, for 1 and a green, very flavorfully regenerate Wolverine. Again, no pricing. Not that you expected any. I think it's a really sweet card. Again, I think they kind of nailed all of the cards in terms of making cards that would be fun and interesting commanders. So really happy to see that. First card up is Berserk. This is a great reprint. This is a $17 card, 21 in the foil. 9 reprints, last saw it 2 years ago, ranked 5113 on EDH Rec. Love seeing this here. We could use some more reprints of Berserk. Next card after that is Rite of Passage. We haven't seen this in 20 years. Oh gosh, $5 in the non-foil, $22 in the foil. Again, probably because this is the first reprint we've seen in 20 years. Ranked 83.95 in EDH Rec. If you had a love for this card back when it came out in 5th Dan, well, you're in luck. We finally get another version. After that, we've got Rhythm of the Wild. This is a decent card if you play against a lot of blue decks. $3 in the non-foil and the foil. Seed 4 reprints. Last saw this 10 months ago. Ranked 190 on EDH Rec. And finally rounding out the layer is the Ozolith, or the Adamantium Bonding Tank. This is a $35 card in the non-foil and the foil. Seen 6 reprints. Last saw it a little over a year ago. Ranked 347 on EDH Rec. This card is one that if you're playing a counter strategy, this is basically an auto include. This is a hugely important piece to help making sure that you have counters stick around and move to your creatures. Yeah, based on the little bit of countering that you're doing on Wolverine, this is a solid include. I think it may have been more solid in the Black Panther deck, but regardless, it's an Ozolith reprint, and that's awesome to see as this card has gotten way too expensive. So layer stats, this one again along with Iron Man are the two that I would say are actually quote unquote worth it for the money when it comes just to the reprint value. We've got $61.23 in the non-foil and $79 in the foil. Great to see, especially because of that increased price tag. When it comes to the ratings, we've got a 5 for the financial. We've got a 3 for playability. Not the most playable layer. Again, we've got a couple older reprints in here, but still solid cards. Ozolith and Rhythm of Wild. You know, those cards do see tons and tons of play. Art, again, solid. It's a 3. Nothing great, nothing bad. Nothing changes for the non-foil. This is still just solid across the board. So wrapping this up, we've got a 4.8 in the foil and a 5.3 in the non-foil. Again, it's just losing a little bit of foil points there because of the scarcity play. Overall, I've ranked all of these layers really high. Whether you agree with that or not, I think is up to you. I've stated the reasoning why. It's mostly because outside IP does very, very well typically, especially if you combine that with mechanically unique. That's kind of the perfect storm when it comes to having layers that maintain a high resale price on the secondary market. Just look at Doctor Who's, I think, the Regeneration layer that came out, and I think no one really heard about it or whatever, but it's an outside IP, it's mechanically unique, and it commands a very high price tag. Other mechanically unique layers, like we've seen The Walking Dead, that one's done really well. Street Fighter, not so much, but I think the Marvel IP weight here is very, very hefty. I've seen nothing but exuberance and excitement for the most part when it comes to these layers. People are very, very excited to build these commanders, myself included. I really love all of these characters. The fact that I get to play with them in my favorite game is really exciting to me. I can't wait to see them across the battlefield too. These are just beloved characters, and I think people are itching to build them. We had a whole super layer get dropped in my lap a few hours ago, and I hope this was a good enough breakdown. I tried to do the best I could, pulling all the data in a quick amount of time, and luckily we had some high-def pictures, so it wasn't scuffed like the Miku one. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you find this kind of content helpful. It helps me out, helps the channel grow, which is always really appreciated. And let me know down in the comments how much money you're going to lose buying Marvel layers. Quick reminder, these come out November 4th, so if you want to bundle them with your Pixel Perfect layer, if you haven't bought that yet and you want to do some charity stuff, I would just wait till this layer comes out, since that one isn't print to demand. These are, however, print to demand. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure you get with a friend, get with a buddy. If you can't be online because it's during work, which is very fair and reasonable. Anyway, that's all I got for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.